Best of r/entitled parents episode 197. Subscribe for Reddit videos daily. Friend's dad tried to steal my bra. Claims that I stole it from his wife. And then friend finds the stash of her other friend's undergarments. So anyway, before we get into the story, my friend's dad was then divorced. Turns out he was a child predator with loads of CP on his laptop, and is in jail, and had about 5 restraining orders after. The friends and the friend's parents he stole bras and panties from. Okay, how I found this out was at my friend's birthday sleepover. We were swimming in her pool and we drank some wine coolers, with her mom's supervision. Still illegal, but we didn't get drunk, just slightly tipsy. So anyway, friend's dad had a strict no locked doors policy. Anyway, I decided to take a shower, so I of course locked the door. I was bathing in my friend's bathroom, so I had her bedroom door shut and the bathroom door locked, if that makes sense. So I heard my friend's bedroom door open as I shouted occupied out of the shower. I got no response except the door shutting quickly, which I thought was just one of the other girls walking in and seeing that I was in there. Anyway, I stepped out of the shower and I stayed in the bathroom while I changed and dried off. All of a sudden the bedroom door opens again, and when I said occupied, the person didn't stop and went straight for the bathroom door as they jiggled the handle extremely violently and pounded on the door once. I stayed silent as I thought there was someone in the house trying to get to me. 10 seconds later I hear her dad's voice yell, "Open this damn door right fucking now." I'm already changed into clean clothes as I stayed silent and slowly opened the door. "Why the hell is the door locked?" he shouted as I apologized and explained I was showering and I wanted privacy, as he said that no excuse. I pushed that aside as I thought he was in a bad mood or something happened and he couldn't do anything cause the door was locked. I stuffed my dirty clothes into me bag as I went back to the party, which we were all settling down with sleeping bags since the living room was big enough for us. I set my bag right next to me as I have some valuable stuff in the bag. Phone, charger, money, eject. We watched movies up until 4 in the morning, which is when we started to go to sleep. I got a strange feeling about being watched, so I stayed up for another hour on my phone. I fell asleep as about an hour later I hear rustling next to my head. I open my eyes to see the friend's dad squatting next to me, rumbling through my bag as he pulled out my dirty bra and underwear as he stood up. I screamed at the top of my lungs as everyone woke up. My stuff was everywhere as the friend's dad quickly dropped my stuff. I screamed, "What the fuck are you doing?" at him as everyone saw what he did and saw him drop my stuff. He tried to defend himself as his wife came rushing and I was making sure you didn't have any drugs was the excuse he went with. I ran over to the wife and explained what happened as the dad was saying that I am a lying skank and that I forced him to hold my stuff. He was high or on crack, one or the other. As the husband was moved to a different room and I explained to the friend what her dad did and she told someone else and I guess it spread around. Everyone was panicking as they were all making sure the man didn't take their panties and bras. Then I hear the husband scream, "She stole your underwear," and so I called the police. Then 10 seconds later I hear the wife scream as it was just a shit show. We all ran over to her to make sure she was alright as everything started to go to chaos. Girls were crying and panicking because he had an area which his wife didn't know about and there was name tags for each underwear pile, like Cindy's underwear, fake name. And there was cum stains on some of them. The police arrived and we explained to them what happened as he was taken away. About a few months later I went to court as my parents were pressing charges. I explained what happened and we won the case. Then about another few months go by and I was talking to my same friend and she said her parents got a divorce and that her dad was in jail for CP and harassment. I have terrible spelling and grammar issues as I'm not good in typing in English, especially with longer stories like this. I type and speak French. Edit. I talked to the friend, and it turns out that her dad brought the wine coolers trying to get us drunk, and her mother saved us from who knows what because she cut us off of the wine coolers after like 2 drink. Who knows what would have happened if we were all passed out drunk. Another edit. So I was again talking to the friend and this is basically what happened after the court and was sent to jail. He still is in jail and he was put into protective custody in the prison at the beginning because, and I quote, "He fucked with little kids so the prisoners are gonna fuck him even harder," but later was removed for trying to smuggle contraband. The other part is that his daughter, 16 now, went to visit him with her mother just to disown him as her father, and when he arrived at the little phone booth thing she said that half his hair was pulled out, he was bruised, his uniform was dirty, with who knows what, and he could barely walk. It was the beatings he got or the stuck up the bum. The rest of the girls there I don't really know, but I talked to a few of them about a month ago and 12/13 is doing fine. The 13th one isn't bad but isn't good. She has night terrors from it and has a service dog to help. Thank you. Next. M tries to buy expired milk and gets pissed when she finds out the milk is curdled. So this is when I was working at a grocery store about a day ago. So anyway, I was about to get off my shift as I was grabbing some expired stuff off the shelves. Once I grabbed a gallon of milk, a Karen walks up and yanks it from me. Mom, that isn't for sales, it expired. M, you're lying. You're just trying to hoard it for yourself. The kid was pulling at my shirt. She was 3 and was saying to give mommy the milk. Mom, it expired on the 1st. M, you changed it. It's curdled, Mom. I shook the milk as you could hear it. It was about a week expired as we kept it on a separate shelf from the not expired milk as the shelf was obviously labeled expired, so we know which is ones to take off. She took it and left as she threw it in her cart and went over to the checkout. The register scanned the milk and said, "Mom, I don't think we can sell this to you." He was new, so I don't think he knew what to do as the lady started to scream at him. He just nodded and said, "This is expired, so you shouldn't drink it." Of course she didn't believe him as she paid and she opened the milk right then and there to show that it isn't expired, and it smelled like a dog took a shit in a dead rat's decomposing body as the rat is set on fire. Her face was priceless as it was right next to her nostril. She threw the expired milk on the ground as it went everywhere and the whole place stank. I demand a refund. I showed her the no refunds policy as she blew up. You tried to poison Me by selling Me curtailed milk and you refused to give Me my money back. Where is your supervisor? You tried to poison my daughter. The girl literally ran away because it smelled so bad. I went and got the store manager as I explained to her what happened as she went to talk to the lady. I couldn't hear them, but from what my manager said, she threatened to call the police, and when my manager said go ahead, she went on and went to the shelves next to the registers and started to take boxes and empty them out of the floor as she was throwing things everywhere. Security came and she had to be tackled down, and she started to continue screaming that this was police brutality. The daughter had to witness all this as we stayed with her till her father could pick her up. Clean up was not fun. 2 of my co-workers vomited. Thank you. Next. EM tells a volunteer that he is feared. First of all, English isn't my first language, so expect some grammar errors, but feel free to point them out. So 2 years ago, I was 13. My school asked all the students if they wanted to do volunteering for a food bank and I said yes. On the day that I did volunteering, I was alone with the teachers at the little stand that we had while everyone else were at the entrances of the supermarket giving bags for the people to fill with food. The idea was for them to deliver the bags at the stand, but most people gave them to my friends in the entrances, so I had to go there from time to time and take them to the stand. We all had shirts saying that we were volunteers, but I had a jacket over it because it was cold. One of the times I went to one of the entrances, the shopping cart that I used to transport the bags was totally full, and when I was going back to the stand, EM gets close to me with 2 full bags of food and the conversation begins. EM, here, take them. Giving me the bags. Me, sorry but my cart is full. EM, I don't care. Take them. Me, sorry but I already told you that my cart is full. Leave the bags there with my 4. EM, cuts me off and starts screaming, catching everyone's attention. I know the manager of your company for a long time, so take my bags now or else I will get you fired. My friends who were close started laughing at her. Me, after reading men/EntitledParents, I knew where this was going. Okay then, call him. She makes a fake call and says, EM, he says you are fired. Me, the problem is, I take off my jacket and show her my shirt saying volunteer with big letters on my back, and then I just walk away while everyone around laughs at her. Thank you for reading and have a nice day. Thank you. Next. Entitled Mom Wants a Burger at Chick-fil-A. Okay. So I wasn't a part of this, just heard it at a drive-thru. Cast, drive-thru employee, EM, entitled Mom, MN, manager. So here. Hi, welcome to Chick-fil-A, can I take your order please? I don't remember exactly what she said. EM, yes, I would like 2 chicken sandwiches and 1 cheeseburger. I'm sorry, we don't sell any beef products here, we only do chicken. But my son said he wants a burger. I understand, but we do not have any beef products here. Well then get some, my son wants a cheeseburger. Mom, I truly understand you child wants a burger, but we do not sell them here. If you want a burger, there is a Wendy's right down the street. But he wants a burger from here. We don't sell burgers, so is there anything else I can help you with? Do you want to be the cause of my child crying? No, but I can't do anything about it. Yes you can, get the beef and make a burger. You're holding up the line, so please either order something we have to leave. I want to talk to your manager. Okay, I'll bring him right now. Hello, this is the manager. So my son wants a burger but your dumb employee says she won't do it. Can you please make her cook a burger for my son? I'm sorry mom, but she is right. We do not sell burger. You are also really holding up the line, so order or get out. I am not leaving until I get my burger. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Are you really kicking one of your customers out? Leave now. Fine, but I am reporting you guys for starving my child. Then I went and ordered and left. TL. Doctor. I want a burger. Employee. No. Manager. No. Okay, my child shall starve and perish because of your lack of burgers. Thank you. Next. Entitled parents think I need to give up everything so their daughters don't feel bad. Hey, so I have tons of stories from this family, and still live in the neighborhood and honestly try to avoid her every second I can. I'm 21 now, female, and her daughters are 23 and 21, 5 months younger than myself, respectively. We will call entitled mother Karen, daughter 23 Taylor and 21 Caitlin, change names. So they moved into the neighborhood when I was 3, Taylor 4 or 5 and Caitlin 3, and at first I was friends with entitled daughters. They irritated me though, but you know that's life, and when there's kids to play with around your age in your neighborhood, you take it. Flash forward and we are all in elementary school and have the same bus stop. There are about 8-10 kids at this stop and it was always a race to be first in line. Now, entitled family is kind of a mess and the daughters would always be sprinting up the street while the rest of us tried to get the bus driver to wait for them. Late, as always. Didn't bother me though. So one day entitled family gets to the bus stop a few minutes before the bus, and the rest of us kids are already there in line. I happen to be first that day, and I'm talking to another one of my friends at the stop who is second. Caitlin walks up to us and says, "Hi, can I cut you? I want to be first today." "No, I'm first today. Maybe get here first tomorrow and you can be first tomorrow," I tell her. Caitlin starts crying and runs to her mother. I continue my conversation because this girl always cries and I just couldn't be bothered to care. Then Karen walks up. "Excuse me, but Caitlin deserves to be first today. Let her go in front of you." "No, I am first." "Well, Caitlin deserves it. She never gets to be first and so you should let her. It's only fair." "No, she needs to get here first to be first." I told her maybe tomorrow she can be. Karen walks away with Caitlin and I hear her telling her some Bible verse about the last shall be first and how I'm going to hell for not sharing. That's just one incident. Here's another, this one featuring entitled Dad, who we will call Dan. I am playing with the same neighborhood friend from the line, let's call her Sam. I'd say I'm 7 and she's 9 here. So Sam and I are playing a game in her driveway when Taylor comes down the street to see what we are doing. We tell her, I remember we had made up some play where we were wizards or something, not too sure. Anyways, she tells us that's dumb and that she doesn't wanna play that, so we say okay then don't play with us and continue playing. She goes home. 5 minutes later Dan comes down the street and walks up Sam's driveway. He calls us over and being kids responding to adults we head over to see what's up. "I hear you're excluding my daughter, ladies. You know that is unacceptable." "Actually, we told her she could play but she said she didn't want to play our game," Sam tries to explain. "Well then change your game so she can play," he yells at us. "I will not have selfish kids making my daughter cry. And I will tell your mother you are excluding her if you don't play something Taylor wants." Long story short, because we were terrified of this ex-army monstrosity of a dad, we changed our game, reluctantly. Things like this happen so often it's hard to count. He terrified us. I guess I'll do one more, although I have dozens in my mind. This time I'm about 13. I have always been a good student and made straight A's. I also suffer from extreme anxiety, and during this time I was super skinny because I physically couldn't get myself to eat due to this anxiety. Taylor and Caitlin have always been bigger girls, no big deal. They also were C and B students, again who cares. Well, entitled parents did. I was over their house one day just watching a movie and they invited me to eat dinner with them. We all sat down at the table and began to eat. Entitled parents Karen and Dan look at each other and Dan asks me, "How are your grades doing?" "You're doing well in math," I hear. Not wanting to be rude, I tell him yes, I'm doing well, but say no more. He then asks, "Well, what are your grades?" I tell him all A's and he looks at Karen. "I think you should let our girls have your homework, or do their homework for them. After all, you are supposed to be in Caitlin's grade, so you should probably do her work." I had skipped a grade, so I was in the level directly between the two daughters. Entitled parents continued to pester me about cheating their girls to better grades, and I told them I didn't feel comfortable with that. Entitled kids started saying that I had to help them because we were neighbors and I owed them. This whole family seems to think where you live dictates who you help, which I don't agree with. Either way, I refused and they finally let it go. I then reached for another taco, as they were good and I was hungry. Karen looks at me and says, "How do you stay so skinny and eat like that?" I immediately drew my hand back in shame. She continues, "My daughters deserve to look like you. I make them eat less and they still laugh at. You're making them feel uncomfortable by eating so much." I didn't eat again the rest of the night. I went home and told my mom what happened. When she went to talk to entitled parents about it the next day, they told her I was lying. She knew they were lying as the whole family was full of shit, but decided to avoid the drama and just walked away. In short, this family decided that because I was their neighbor and objectively better than their daughters, I had to do everything I could to make them be like me. Taylor ended up in later years going psycho and bullying me to the point I still have PTSD, and Caitlin is a pathological liar. Turned out to be real peaches. Thank you. Next. My entitled mother sits in the smoking area and gets offended that people are smoking. I have the pleasure of having a Karen as a mother. I'm older now and am no longer in contact with her. This happened when I was a teenager, about 2005. We went for lunch at a cafe we went to all the time. We ordered our drinks and food and went outside to wait. At this cafe there were two outside areas, a smoking area and a non-smoking area. Karen decided to sit in the smoking area. She is very against smoking and I warned her that this was the smoking area, but she was having none of it. A few minutes later a small group came into the area and began smoking. Of course Karen had a problem with that. Karen, talking loudly to me so the group would hear her. Oh my gosh. What's with the smoking? This is a family establishment. I can't believe these people. Emmy, let's go to the non-smoking area then. Karen, no, I'm not moving. I was here first. They should move. The group either didn't hear her or were ignoring her because they gave no reaction. Karen, directed at the group, excuse me, would you mind not puffing your smoke directly at me? This is very disrespectful. She was acting like they were facing her and purposely blowing smoke in her face. They weren't. Group member, Mom, this is the smoking area. We're allowed to smoke here. Karen, no you are not. I'll have you thrown out of here for disrespecting me. She got up and went inside. I apologized to the group while she was gone. A few minutes later she came back with the manager in tow. Karen, these inconsiderate people have been blowing smoke in my face and swearing at me. I want them removed right now. Manager, Mom, this is the smoking area. They're allowed to smoke here. As for the offensive language, Emmy, I cut in, they weren't swearing or doing anything wrong. Mum, stop it. Manager, if that's the case Mom, I can seat you somewhere else. Karen, no, we aren't moving. Make them move. I'd had enough of this, so I went inside to get away from this. My mum did this all the time and I was sick of it. Stormed inside a few minutes later and said, "OP, we're leaving. This is disgusting customer service and we are never coming back." These threats were very common from my mum and she never stuck to the threat, at the misfortune or the staff at these places. We lived in a small town with 2 cafes, the other one being way too expensive for my choosing beggar mother to ever go to. I am no longer in contact with my mum. She lives in another country and doesn't know my address. I'm just grateful that I no longer have to put up with her entitlement. Thanks for reading. Thank you. Next. Rocker EP refuses to believe Freddie Mercury was bisexual. This one happened last year, but every time I remember I can't stop laughing. It was June aka Pride Month, and I was in one of this independent bookstore/music store looking through the book novelties when I heard shouting coming from the music section. My inner gossiper took over me and I decided to see what was going on. Picture this. A mid-aged man using sunglasses and a black leather jacket shouting to a poor store employee. At his side a teenager that looked like she wanted the earth to swallow her whole and a very distracted child looking some colorful album covers. He was saying something like this. EP, why is this here? Stop trying to make everything a fucking gay. What is with this stupid fag TS invasion? Stop ruining sh*t. What was the problem? The store had a special Pride vinyl display, with its center being 4 Queen albums, which our EP was furiously pointing at. Cue to the next conversation. I don't remember all of it, so I am just writing the main points. Store employee, SE, sir, Freddie Mercury is one of the most influential gay artists on history. EP, stop lying. Do you know who is Mary Austin? The freaking love of his life. The current owner of his mansion. She who owns half of Queen royalties. Mercury was no fag tu dumbus. Daughter, D. Dad, he was. He lived with a man his whole life. Can we just go? EP, that is a stupid history some greedy fag T made because he wanted money and fame, and all the other dump queers followed. You need to take this down right now. SE, sir, I can't do that and if you continue acting this way I will call security. EP, I won't leave this store until you stop disrespecting rock music. The guy was red and you could see his forehead veins. D. Okay, I am leaving and calling mom. You can embarrass yourself alone. Bro, come. The girl took the little kid and basically ran out of there. I am sure the father wanted to continue fighting but when he saw the daughter going away, he went right behind her. The poor store employee looked so defeated and I could see how he asked for a break to his manager. I was there for about 15 minutes and then left with some books. Not the dad nor the daughter came back in that time, so I don't know what happened to them. I am just hoping he didn't took his shouting to another store. Thanks for reading guys.